Heartfelt thanks to Sambit Prakashan, the Sambit intellectual group. Every time I come up with a publication, they are large-hearted enough to invite me and have this interaction with the audience. Coming to Hyderabad itself is a very energizing experience. I meet every time new people, I meet very exciting young youth, and I find Hyderabad growing at an exponential rate which I have not seen any other city grow. And I travel a lot, I can tell you honestly. I'm so lost this time that actually I asked Ayush which area of Hyderabad are actually, moving around this time. So I just moved in the western part of Hyderabad. I'm told it is now 80 kilometers wide. So that's huge, and despite this, there is a lot of order, and I see a lot of new people coming to the city, and a lot of interest in this kind of activity where actually Saturday, Sunday is supposed to be the only day they are free. So I thank the audience also. As far as this is concerned, she has given a good overview. The reason for the research I did on this topic was that RSS policies decided in the Akhil Bharatiya Pratinidhi Sabha and Kendriya Karyakarini twice in a year, and those resolutions are the basis of its work on the field. Most of the people don't know this. They feel somebody somewhere decides something and they things start moving, there is one person directing everything. But resolution passing itself is a very elaborate exercise. People present their ideas, they are discussed threadbare, they are modified, amended 50 times, 30 times, and finally a fine-tuned resolution is passed. It is not just passed, that resolution is activated on the ground by asking Swayamsevaks to work on it, preparing the cadre, giving them the inputs, and working on the ground. Now, this aspect of Sangha work people did not, so that started me on this particular journey. My guide, Professor Yashwant Pathak, gave this idea. And then when I quantified those approaches, so just to give a figure, why I chose this topic. So till 2014, number of resolutions passed on Jammu Kashmir is 25. Number of resolutions passed on northeastern region, which is these are subjects of my research, 17. Number of resolutions on Punjab, where the trouble began in 1980, was 12. Resolutions passed on national security, 21. On Bangladesh and East Pakistan, 14. Pakistan, 15. China, 4. So you can realize that mischief that happens around us is all noted by Sangha. Then there are national issues where 40 resolutions are passed. On cultural issues, 14. On Hindu society and reform, 15. Minorities, 22. So it was such a vast area to cover. I decided to concentrate on these three topics. And what we find is that for each region, a certain policy decided based on Sangha strength in that area, issues that come there, and then how to take it forward. So the resolution to Jammu Kashmir is different. Resolution or talking about Punjab problem is different, and tackling Northeast is different. For example, Punjab was strongest in terms of Sangha strength during partition. There were more than 1200 shakas, there were more than 200 pracharaks. In Sindh itself, there were about 46 pracharaks, including Advani ji and Chamatwal, Wadhwani, etc. Northeast, there was no work. Bengal, it was weak. But all the areas, whatever they could, they did. In fact, during the attack on Jammu Kashmir, scores of Swayamsevaks sacrificed their lives to support the army in defense of Jammu Kashmir. They went along with the army on the front lines, picked up armaments, made roads, bridges, airfield runways, etc. And many lost their lives. After that, when 370 came, it was a sustained campaign for 70 years, coming with new ideas, new issues. In fact, dividing Jammu Kashmir in three parts was mooted by Sangh in 1993. And there was huge hue and cry. including people who actually dominate the scene in the name of secular politics and secularism. They were very upset because that was their game plan of controlling entire Jammu Kashmir using Valley as their launching pad. So all these issues are brought up. Then again there was a lot of change in the scenario. Then in 2001, Jammu Kashmir Study Center was created. New research was done because everybody said as per law you cannot do it, as per constitution you cannot do it. Then the origins of 370 and 35A, a clause which was hidden in annexure of the constitution, which nobody knew, including Supreme Court lawyers and judges, that was found out. And that is how the new narrative was created, that how Jammu Kashmir actually is this entire 370 is an injustice on people of Jammu Kashmir. A million people who moved from Layalpur and that part of Punjab to Jammu Kashmir because they were poor, they were scheduled caste and tribes, they didn't have money to go to Punjab. So those who moved to Punjab, two of them became Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh and Inder Kumar Gujral. But these 1 million people, I mean, by the time it happened, it was 1 million people. They had no state rights. They were not citizens of the state. They had no right to education, no right to employment, no right to join any forces. That was the condition. So they were in the areas where they had no facilities for 70 years. Nobody talked about them. There are Safai Karmacharis called Valmikis from Punjab who were called to Jammu Kashmir because they didn't have people to sweep and do the scavenging. They were promised citizenship. They were promised all the rights. They got no rights. So if a Safai Karmachari did PhD, he would only get a job as a Safai Karmachari. If I was an Olympic champion, I would get only job as a sweeper. These are the laws passed under citizenship law under 370-35A. Not only that, women have, in 1981, new citizenship law was created which took away all the rights of women. That means if they married outside Kashmir or non-Kashmiri, their citizens, their hereditary rights go. They cannot get property from their parents. They cannot give their property to their children. At the same time, if somebody came from outside and married a Kashmiri, that person would become a Kashmiri. That girl would become a Kashmiri and get all the rights. So the best example of this dissemination was that Sheikh Abdullah married a British woman. She became Kashmiri. His two sons and daughter. Son married a Hindu from Rajasthan. She became Kashmiri. The daughter married a congressman outside Kashmir. She became non-Kashmiri. All this was happening in the name of secularism, the name of special rights of Jammu Kashmir. All this was brought out. And sustained campaign for 70 years finally resulted in what we today see, a step towards resolution. At the same time, if you look at Punjab, as I talked about partition, there was nobody fighting for Hindus and Sikhs. It was only Sangh and Akali Dal and those forces, Arya Samaj, etc. They paid very heavy price. Despite that, they were banned. There are cases of, I have one of the lists in the book where I have given the name of handwritten list of 33 martyrs who died alone just in Amritsar during 6 months of riots. We don't know about anything about it. Then of course I talk about Khalistan movement, etc. The Northeast says there was no work there, and when Eknath Banerjee went there, he moved there for 1 month and he straight away came to Maharashtra, met Baba Rao Bhide, who was a Sangh Chalak, and he said, I need 10 pracharas immediately because we don't start work in Northeast now. It was called Assam at that time. In 30 years, Assam will be gone out of India. So immediately when he gave a Bauddhik there, he gave a lecture there, immediately got 8 pracharak there. 1 pracharak came from Punjab, 1 pracharak came from Rajasthan. So 10 pracharaks went to Northeast with no base at all. Nothing, no karyalay, don't know where to go, how to go. In fact, the day they went, there was floods and they got stuck on the way. They walked all the way to Guwahati. So there on the Sanghamra started. Now because there was domination of church, you could not start Shaka. You could not meet people. Initial work started with Rajasthanis, then slowly it spread to the local people. And from there on, realizing that they cannot do this Shaka directly, they started Seva Karya, they started schools. So this creation of schools, creation of Seva Karyas over a period of time, building faith in indigenous people about their faith because they were persecuted. The indigenous people were not allowed to practice their religion. If one person became a Christian, an entire family had to become a Christian, or you could persecute or prosecute or isolate that particular family. So this slowly, this movement of tribal self-respect began, which is showing result after 70 years now. Many people are returning. This took years and years of work, including nobody stood for the Chakmas, for Ryangs and all these people who actually were dishoused because they were not converting. These issues were brought up, their support system was created for them, disaster management was done as and when required, and what you see now is not a sudden transformation. So the turnaround that you see, that you clap for, actually has a sacrifice of hundreds of pracharaks. Many people who were killed, of those pracharaks who were killed, kidnapped, tortured, killed, and nameless people who started schools, seva karyas. One pet story which I always talk about is a Bhaiyaji Kane, who was a teacher in Dombivali, Mumbai. Guruji told him, you are already elder and you should be working in Assam. So he said, okay. So he went to Assam. He started a school in Ukhrul. Ukhrul is about 6 kilometers from Myanmar border, I think, in Manipur. So you took 2 days to reach there and work. So he started a school there. He thought that we need to take people to, other parts of Bharat, bring other people here, so people understand we are from the same nation. We should work together. We are all brothers and all, because there was a sense of isolation which lasted till 2014 also, I would say. That was one of the causes for rebellions being continuously happening there. So he said, I will take these children to Mumbai, show them around, get them educated, and I'll bring them back. So somebody said, no, this guy will kidnap these boys and girls, and no, we cannot give. He will sell their kidneys and all that. So he had a child, a student of his called Jan. He's still alive. So he told Jan, he said, this boy of mine will stay with you. If I come back, you give my boy back, and you take my other children. If I don't come back, you have this child as a hostage. Child also agreed, imagine. That is how the first student experience in interstate living was born. So such stories that inspire you, this is how slowly Sangha has managed to change the scenario around at a cost which you don't even imagine. So these are the stories which come in this. This is not a story about Sangha theory, Sangha Shaka, Hindutva. This is a story about Sangha application on the field. How the thinking about nation works on the field. How the national unity, the cultural unity of the nation becomes the underpinning of every thinking. When Congress was continuously down whether Northeast belongs to us, whether Assam belongs to us, whether Mizo and Nagas are part of Bharat, a sense of kind of sense guilt they carried. Whether Kashmir is ours or not, Nehru ji sir, आपका इच्छा होगा तब रहना, नहीं तो चले जाना, आपको पाकिस्तान को दे देंगे, whatever. So this we had never a doubt, because for us Kashmir was not the issue of referendum or issue of majority Muslim. For us it was that Kashmir is the fountainhead of Bharatiya civilization, of Hindu Dharma. It has a 4,000-year-old history, written, documented, about which many of us are not even conversant. Abhinav Gupta nobody knew about, so even that was celebrated by Sangha. So that is how slowly you change around the entire thinking of the nation. That is one lesson. Secondly, Sangha never saw anything in isolation. So something happened in Assam, another sporadic incident in Srinagar, something happens in Punjab, something happens in Marath. All these are how they are interconnected, how the forces which see today, what we call anti-national forces, today gangs, they were marked out, joined, the dots were joined by Sangha during its resolution. So the kind of Muslim terrorism that started in Kerala, kind of alliance these people, these extremist Yadi elements in Assam, in Bengal, or the tie-up that Punjabi Khalistani elements had with Kashmiri terrorists. This was always highlighted by Sangha. So this is how you see that the sense of looking at the whole nation as one has been brought out. Now coming specific to Punjab. Punjab problem started not now, they started way back in 1929, I would say around 1920 or 1920, when British created a separate SGPC, I think 1925. Shri Gurudwara Prabandhan Committee was the first step. After, of course, the McAuliffe history, which was released, the Sikh history, which is today the fact history of Khalistanis, which was distortion of the real history. Interpretation of Sikh scriptures are also distorted by Macaulay. And when Naba Singh, Kanha Naba Singh, he was the person who actually used that particular literature to create an entirely different narrative about Sikh identity. But 25 British then played further game, SGPC was created. So that is how slowly this separation of Sikhi from the Hindu mainstream was created. After during 47, demand for separate Khalistan state was made, but it was made that they should not be crushed between Pakistan and Bharat, and they don't have their identity. So Master Tara Singh, a very huge patriotic, fought for their place as Punjabi Suba or Khalistan because they wanted to hive off from Punjab. He said partition Punjab and create a separate Khalistan of us, remove all the Muslims from there. His house was burned, his 59 relatives were killed, and he came to Bharat after that. So from there on, Congress played a lot of politics there. It did not, the language issue was also with due regret, was accentuated by RS Samaj during 1951 census. RS Samaj said you write a mother tongue as Hindi. But Guruji was very strongly against it. Guruji condemned those people. He told Swayamsevaks not to fall for it. He said Punjabi is your mother tongue. Every regional language is wonderful and every regional language is national language. So you must write this mother tongue because this is your mother tongue. So the first agitation that started in Punjabi for Punjabi was the kind of rift that was created by both Akalis as well as even our own very highly over enthusiastic Hindus. As the issue settled down, finally language was accepted as one of the languages. Then Punjabi Suba demand was not fulfilled. Punjab linguistic states began getting formed somewhere in 53. But Punjab was not considered a state because Congress thought that once Punjabi state or Punjabi Suba is stated, they will lose control of the state. So they kept on postponing the decision. Again, Sangha supported the decision, though Guruji was against linguistic states from beginning. But he said if all the states are done on linguistic state, why are you delaying Punjab? So that sense of bitterness remained in the Sikh Qaum and also Punjabis, and then Punjabi Suba was made. Again to create a problem, Chandigarh was not resolved. Two districts of Punjabi majority was given to Haryana. Two districts were given to Himachal Pradesh. So what they got was something corrupted, something which was not resolvable. So this bitterness continued. Then when Akalis won the election, Congress didn't allow that particular government to last. Every day was broken. Indira Gandhi was playing games with them. So that is when Anandpur Sahib resolution came, which talked of religious-based state, which talked about federalism, which talked about more rights to the state. Basically, second kind of resolution. And then that finally resulted in Khalistani movement 1981. Then Bhindranwale was created. And that Bhindranwale was used by Indira Gandhi, also used by Akali Dal. Indira ji thought she could control Bhindranwale. Akali Dal thought we could control Bhindranwale. So Sant Longawala said he is a danda with which we are going to beat Congress. But none could do anybody because once you ride a tiger, you cannot dismount it. Finally, thousands of people died. There are figures in the book about, and of those 61%, about 61% were Sikhs, not Hindus or security forces. RSS continuously not only just passed resolution, they created special bodies. There was Punjab Rashtriya Suraksha Samiti. I was fortunate to talk to a gentleman who was a pracharak first, then a karyakarta called Jagriti. He died recently before the book was published. In fact, this book is dedicated to him. So when resolution passed in 1986 that we should do something for Sikh Hindu unity, we cannot break the unity. So he said we are passing resolutions, what we will do actually. So he was called to Delhi and they said, okay, we start this activity. Who will take responsibility? He said, if nobody takes, I will take the responsibility. So Adhikari asked him, you know the result, what will happen? He said, I will be killed at the most, what will happen? And then bravely, he continuously fought on the field. He would take public meetings, he would carry julus, morchas and all. He took a Rashtriya Dharam Yudh Morcha from Punjab to Delhi all the way. Huge meetings were held. Of course, the reporting I got only in Punjabi newspapers which he had. There is no document anywhere else. And when I met him, he was disabled below his legs. And he said, I'm satisfied at least now people will know about what Sangha has done in Punjab. So that was very important document, all the press cuttings and all. He challenged Bhindranwale openly in the field. He never carried a security guard. And then slowly people who were leaving Punjab stopped leaving Punjab. The idea of terror was that Hindus should leave Punjab. Those who oppose Khalistan should leave Punjab. But they refused to leave Punjab. Slowly that exodus slowed down. And finally peace returned. Of course, KPS Gill came and there was huge, very strict action. Those who created that demon, they paid a price. Beyond Singh lost his life, who gave KPS Gill full free hand, and Indiraji lost her life. But finally, when peace returned, the important part which joins me to today's Khalistan is that people who were quiet all this time, they came out as human rights activists. A number of cases, hundreds of cases are put against policemen for violating human rights. Those people who could not come out of homes, they started talking human rights. And that led to one of the most sad part when one of the ex-IGPs, Mr. Sandhu, committed suicide. A. Sandhu. And there were continuous houndings. So the Punjab police was facing 85 CBI inquiries, 91 judicial probes. 30 policemen were in jail, hundreds were on bail, 140 including 7 SPs were facing prosecution with CBI on the Supreme Court order. No less than 1/6 of the 70,000 strong force may find itself in the dock, admitted senior officer. And a police officer said those who fought terrorism is now being looked upon by their own seniors as criminals. So RSS condemned that also. And to end this particular chapter, what KPS Gill said we are far from the edge of the abyss. Let this nation beware of the hour when no man will risk his life to protect another or to defend the nation. जोश महिलावादी once wrote, बिजलों के इश्क में शैदा मुझे क्यों कर दिया, इस नामर्द देश में पैदा मुझे क्यों कर दिया. These are the words of KPS Gill. And this is how finally the price paid by security forces and the nation resulted in calming the waters in Punjab. That brings me to Khalistan 2.0.